Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special May 4th edition of Cookies Enabled and What's New Wednesdays. I am Will, your host, and today, obviously, it's a little different. We've been breaking it up a little bit this year just because of work schedules and busy summer, so it's definitely interesting. Andrew was able to film some stuff with me earlier today, so I'm going to cut to that here and let that just kind of roll. I will be here to chat with you guys in the background just in case you guys pop on. But I will be here right afterwards as well, just to give you guys a few extra headlines as well for the night. But appreciate the video, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, hello everyone, and welcome. We are filming earlier in the day here, and as you can tell, it's a lot brighter out. And it has been an interesting week so far. I think it's been pretty good. Hopefully, we just got Reddit started. I don't know why it took us so long to get onto Reddit, but welcome if anybody's watching from there. We appreciate you guys, and let us know what you guys think. Drop us a comment below or at the email above as well. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like all of them. So and we're everywhere. We're getting onto Spotify as well. That'll be our next big leap for the bloggers and the listeners. If you can't watch our show, you might be able to listen to our show. So we'll be getting that going. But yeah, I had to change a few things in my background here because I had a TV die in my main room, so I had to take some spare parts as you do. But yeah, other than that, it's been a pretty good week so far, and I had a good weekend. I know Mother's Day is coming up, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there if they are watching. We appreciate you. And but how was your week, Andrew? How did it go for you so far? Has it been treating you well?
Well, I can tell you the tourists are back in northern Michigan. Work is already starting to get crazy busy, but I'm excited for it. It's nice to see this little town sort of waking up after the winter. Right. Every day that I go into work, more and more boats. Yep. 4 days ago, there was one boat in the marina, which I'm right by.
Okay.
Now there's a dozen of them.
Whoa.
Everybody's pulling them out.
What a change.
So, no, we've had a good week. We went bowling. Nice. We went fishing. Oh. We didn't catch anything.
Oh, man. Well, it's been weird weather for fishing, but, this is still good.
We're getting ready. I've got an anniversary coming up, 10 years with my fiance, Andy. So we met today, 10 years ago, very late at night. So Star Wars Day, or if you're a fan of the show Arrested Development, it's known as Cinco de Quattro.
Cinco de Quattro. Love it. Oh, man, yes.
Yeah. It's been a good week. Yeah. My dad had his last, he had a pulmonary test, so we're looking good on his surgery. They're waiting on the date to plan that. Right. So good news. Everything's going to be looking pretty good. They're just kind of planning out the surgery. Yep. When you split someone open from the sternum, you got to make sure you're doing it right.
I would hope so. I'd want to break open a book before I do that too. Let me just double check, make sure I did that right. Yeah, definitely. So, well, that's good. I'm glad everything went well.
But he's in a good place. He's got a great doctor. Yeah, things are going. They're going better.
Upswing,
so we're excited about that.
As it usually is for spring here, and we finally got a not rainy day. Thank goodness. It's been nothing but rain for us, especially for April.
Same here.
Weird. But anyway. But yeah, so that's great. Sounds good. I think we had a great, again, we're going to be trying to do a little bit of an update on our weeks there for you guys, just to, let us know how you guys are doing as well. We're interested. But you brought us some really cool news today. We've got a bunch of different things, some Michigan news, some rocket news, some James Webb Telescope news, some pretty cool stuff. Let's, and some awesome memes. Let's not forget about those.
Well, Let's jump into the space news. There hasn't been much from SpaceX. They did another Starlink mission. So, as they normally do, we're all good there. That's about it at the moment for them.
Yeah, I feel like they had a lot last week. So, it's always going to be like every couple of weeks they have like a burst of news, So, makes sense. We get it.
The Crew 3 mission is going to be returning relatively soon from the space station. So, we'll keep an eye on that. But no, the first one I thought was really
Oh yeah.
cool. There's a company called Rocket
Yep.
Lab, and you might not have heard of them, but they're again a small startup,
Little baby company.
kind of
Yep.
on the kind of on the coattails of
Right.
SpaceX. They've got, but they've been doing some successful missions already. They've already worked with some private
Right.
customers to get satellites into space, but they're also trying to figure out how to make reusable rockets a reality.
Okay. Interesting. Huh.
But instead of landing them,
Right.
they want to catch them with a helicopter.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
I don't know how I feel about
they
that.
they have a basically a rope hanging from a helicopter with a
Right.
hook on
Okay.
it, and they catch the drogue parachute that deploys from the first stage
Okay.
as it's re-entering the atmosphere. So they've done a
Interesting.
few tests,
Huh.
they've done some
Right.
simulations, and so they tried one recently. They had a launch, these are smaller
Right.
rockets. These rockets
Yeah,
are
they don't look huge.
probably no, they're not. I've got the article here. I want to figure out. I want to say they said like 59 meters or something like that. So they're under 200
Wow, that's
feet,
actually not that
something
bad.
like
Wow, that's
that.
pretty tiny.
So
Okay.
they're small.
I mean, for rockets.
That's right. It's a tiny
Yeah.
one comparatively, but they did a test with this for helicopter recovery, and they caught it, but there were some issues that they didn't know what was going to happen during the simulations. A lot of physics and gravitational
I can
forces.
only imagine.
If you are grabbing something that weighs several tons from a helicopter, it can kind of mess with things.
Right. Yeah.
So they caught it. But they did release it from the helicopter and just let it land into the ocean.
Okay.
And they had already said, they told their pilots,
Right.
your safety is obviously number one. So once you grab it, if it doesn't feel right,
Just let her go.
don't. Let her go. Let it drop into the ocean. It only was in the water for a few minutes before one of their barges picked it up.
Okay. I
So
figured they would still retrieve
they're going to
it.
try.
Right.
They're going to retrieve it. They're going to try to reuse it.
Cool.
The big issue is salt water is very corrosive to some of these boosters, just the metal and the electronics alone. So they don't know if they're going to be able to use it for sure. But they're gonna bring it onto land, look at it, find out whether or not it's feasible for another launch.
Right.
But it was sort of a proof of concept. And now they're going to take all that data and all the issues that they had, plug it into their simulations for the next time, which will be in several months. It's not going to be right away.
I figured it'd be a minute or two.
But still, I mean,
impressive, though. Wow.
It's you're catching a booster with a helicopter.
I mean, that's definitely not something I ever really. I mean, we've already seen impressive things with SpaceX and the chopstick arms and stuff. That's cool, but this is totally crazier. I mean, you're in air and it's falling, and then you're also in air in a helicopter, and you're like picking it up and then take. I mean, it's smart. I get it. I totally get it. I mean,
when it re-enters, it's traveling at up to 7 times the speed of sound.
Right.
But once it hits the atmosphere and once that drogue chute deploys, it slows it down to roughly 22 miles an hour, which is not that fast.
That's actually pretty slow. That's amazing.
And if you've got a helicopter hovering right near the insertion point,
like that should be pretty easy
if
for
you're
them
a
to
good
match
pilot,
descent. I feel, and catch up. That should be pretty straightforward.
And I mean, they have a lot of computers, a lot of software that are planning this out, so they know where to be, when they need to be there.
Wow. Well, hi.
So I'm excited to see what's coming up from Rocket Lab next.
Me too.
So
that is cool. well done, Rocket
It's not
Man.
what you'd expect. It's something
Right,
different.
that is definitely not what I was expecting. I mean, wow. Well, cool. It's way more than a proof of concept. Well, I'll definitely have to be catching up with these guys later. I'm
I
excited.
think so. Yeah,
I mean, that's cool. That's really cool. Oh yes.
and we do have some new news out from the James Webb Telescope,
yes, we do.
which has they've got the mirrors completely aligned.
Yeah.
It's ready to go. And we were saying by roughly June or July, we're going to start getting a lot of the really important data coming in, some of their first scans and tests.
Right. Yeah.
But they've already been looking into it. And you've got the article, I think you can pull up, comparing the quality of the images from Webb to some of our other satellites that have looked in the same location. You have the WISE
W2
telescope, and then the Spitzer, Iraq,
and then you have the James Webb, which is like, wow.
And you can really see.
Holy moly!
One is fuzzy. It's got tiny, just fuzzy balls of light. The other one's a little more in focus, but once you see the James Webb image,
you're looking through a window for crying out loud. That's amazing. Holy moly!
You're seeing just space stuff, nebulae, and
you can even see the
dust clouds,
gases,
and,
like you said, you got dust clouds and stuff floating around in there. It's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
And some of those dots behind everything, those aren't all stars. Some of those are galaxies.
Okay. Huh.
Which kind of ties in how tiny we are.
Right. Yeah, just a little tiny. But wow, yeah. So I am super stoked.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a little faster than we anticipated them getting it all focused and.
Well, they're test images still, but it's to really show what we can do. They're comparing these other two telescopes that view in the infrared spectrum to James Webb, which is also in the infrared spectrum. But it shows how much better quality and what we can get out of it.
Holy
so
moly.
I'm excited for this year to see some of the images it brings up and some of the discoveries of our universe. It's going to be groundbreaking. It's going to change so much. We're going to learn so much more about the universe that we live in. And I just cannot wait for all of that.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. This is really exciting news. I mean, like, just the pictures and the images are just awesome. I'm going to post a bunch of links down in the description below that will have, like, the Twitter links and stuff for you guys, because there's even more stuff to look at. So it's really cool. This is really deep. I love these images. I mean, it's amazing just the contrast between the three of them. It's so vastly different. I just love it. I mean, it's exactly what we were hoping for. And there we go. So, patience is a virtue, everybody. Oh, man.
It takes time. I'm excited.
Did we want to jump to the memes before you take your last topic, or?
Yeah, let's do some memes, and then I got one more topic. It's actually somewhat personal of a topic to me from a family aspect, and it's really cool. But let's do some memes.
So we got some memes. You got some great ones this week, and this first one is a doozy, everybody. Oh, okay, here we go. Now this one was from Andrew, and it's got a director, and he's got a little thing here. It says he's getting ready to kind of give a line to the actor here, and he's like, okay, so give me an expression that says, I just ate your whole butterfly collection, and I have 7 scented erasers in my butthole. Go! And then you have William Dafoe with this, like, almost, God, what's the green dude that he plays in Spider-Man? The Gremlin dude. The Green Goblin. Thank you. Yes, that's the face he's making here, but without the makeup.
That's the thing. Willem Dafoe. He's
awesome.
He's like a different version of like Jack Nicholson or some of those actors.
Oh,
he's brilliant, but he can pull off crazy like nobody else can. He's a very versatile actor. Yes. And I found this in my Facebook memories because I shared it once, and one of my friends commented on it like, "That's funny, but oddly specific of a request. Like,
it is very specific.
I'm sorry. I just ate your butterfly collection.
Yep.
And I have 7 scented erasers in my butthole. And it's like, how does one person come up? Yeah. How do you express that one look? But he can do it.
It's the goblin look. That's the only way I can really describe it, because I see him flying around like you know, like that's what it looks like to me. Oh, I love it though. Oh my gosh, so perfect. Definitely a great way to start the memes out too. So thank you.
Very, very quickly before we get off the topic of movies too. Have you watched one of the latest TV trailer spots for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
Well, I don't know if it's the latest one, but I've definitely seen a few of them. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I just about lost my mind at work because it was playing one day, and at the very end, and I guess it's not really spoilers because it's a trailer, but I heard a voice that sounded very familiar, and then I saw an elderly person's hand on a yellow wheelchair. And then I checked IMDb to confirm, and it's Patrick Stewart, Professor X. They're bringing the X-Men into the MCU.
Well, it is the multiverse, so that would kind of make sense because that is where you'd want them to be. That is exactly how that makes sense. So
it's Patrick Stewart as Professor X in the Multiverse of Madness, and I lost my
mind. I love it.
Also, because I know that means that one of these days we're going to see Deadpool in the MCU.
Oh, yes.
They're bringing it all together. Now that Disney and all of them, now that they own Sony, they have all of that intellectual property. And I about lost my mind.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
So excited.
I am super excited now. Now I've really got to go see that movie.
Oh yeah. I think it comes out tomorrow in theaters or Friday.
Premieres tomorrow night, you know, and then officially Friday, you know. So, but yeah. So anyway, my first one here for you guys is not it's a Star Wars kind of hit. But it's like also just a hit on America right now, because I mean it's like the scientists, they discovered something.
Oh God, the misinformation.
Yeah, half of the American population, liar, blasphemy, and I just love that it's Anakin. Like, I mean it's just that's all he did in the movie was just everybody was telling him the truth, and he's just like, no, I don't believe you. Then he's like dying in a lava pit, like, oh, maybe they were right.
That's a big problem these days with misinformation.
Yeah.
Hell, 60 Minutes, the new show, they did a special a few nights ago on have you heard of the birds aren't real conspiracy theory?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, it was thought of, or viewed as a conspiracy theory that at some point the government killed 18 billion birds over decades and replaced them all with drones to spy on us. But it was all a parody, making fun of all of the other conspiracy theories and misinformation, and
it became a real thing.
Kind of proved it. Well, they started it as a joke and just kind of said, we're going to keep going with this, and it kind of proved their point of how people latch onto conspiracy theories, because in the original videos, everybody in the video was in on the joke. They were talking, birds aren't real, blah, blah, blah. But then people actually started to believe it. And it's like, we were just messing with you guys. Of course or they charge on power lines and they're not. It it showed how much, like, the level of
Yeah.
absurdity of some of these conspiracy theories. Like, I don't know, Hillary Clinton is running a child trafficking ring out of a pizza place. It's that some people have such a level of cognitive dissonance
Yeah.
that they just
You know.
go with anything. And they've admitted it's fake. We're just kind of toying with y'all.
Oh,
So,
man.
scientists discover something and other people say, no, it's not real. Well,
Yep.
that's science.
That's just how
That's how it works. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your next one here. Let's see. This one. Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. So you have a 2-screen setup here. In the first one, you've got our lovely Blue's Clues.
Steve.
Thank you. I'm like, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Steve sitting on his couch, writing in his journal, or notepad. I'm sorry, his notepad. And the second screen is what the notepad.
Next one.
Dear Slim.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
I don't know why this one is so funny to me, but it's.
I don't know either. I can hear the song. Like when I when I found this meme, I could hear that song in my head.
Oh my god, I love it. It's just so simple, and it's so. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, just go search Blue's Clues on YouTube. That is actually kind of hard to say.
Blue's Clues on YouTube. Say that 5 times fast. Blue's Clues on YouTube. Blue's Clues on YouTube. That's hard.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
Blue's Clues on YouTube.
Steve will explain what is going on in those videos. And your last one here is awesome. Or my last one here, I'm sorry.
Yours.
Yes. So this one is, if you die tonight, heaven or hell? And then underneath that it says, tell them the cows sent you, which is obviously a Chick-fil-A advertisement. And then in the bottom, you got Doom. The guy's like, the cows send their regards. And he's like, I love how he's holding his shotgun in the one hand while he's like choking an alien in the other. Like, that is just
Doom was such a great game. I loved it.
It never gets old, and these memes never get old. Like, I mean, you don't even know what Doom is, and this is hilarious. You know what I mean?
I also find it rather ironic that you've got a billboard obviously paid for by a church.
Yes.
If you die tonight, heaven or hell. But then underneath that, you have that from Chick-fil-A, which is also run by a very religious family. And I am going to stand on this hill until the day I die. Don't go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't eat there.
We don't.
I don't
go. I've never been, and I don't care to go.
Oh, we don't even have them up here. Well, we have a few, but they spent millions of dollars lobbying against gay marriage. So obviously, I'm going to have a problem with that.
A little bit.
When they see people like me and Andy, my fiance, the one you all watched on the piano, when they think of us as subhuman and think that we don't have the same rights as other people, since we're not monetized yet, I can tell them they can go fuck themselves. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's I'm never gonna get off that soapbox.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's a bad one.
So don't go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't go to Chick-fil-A. Don't go to Home Depot. Don't go to that one craft store. What are they called? Hobby Lobby. Go to Michael's or Joann's. They're great. We're good. This one I thought was really cool. Yeah. I've known about this project for a little while. I don't know if I was allowed to talk about it before, and I didn't. But, and I'm sure I would have been allowed. I don't know. Probably. But my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he used to work for Ford. Right. And then he left there for a new job opportunity with a small little startup in Detroit. And we talked about it, at some of our family get-togethers. they're working on a lot of external technology to help improve the safety and the accuracy of self-driving vehicles.
Right, which is actually a really big deal. I know, Ann Arbor was known for doing research on that for years.
Oh yeah,
and whatnot. So that was huge.
Well, when you're around the Detroit area, they have a lot of those companies that are working on this research. You've seen those. Obviously, Tesla is still leading the pack with a lot of their self-driving capabilities. But this startup was taking it in a different direction of not every car is going to have the same technology, and you don't want to put all of the there's got to be something across the board that makes it easier for everybody.
Sure.
So they're working on installing sensors like laser, radar, LiDAR, all of this on the actual sides of highways.
Yep.
So they're more focusing on long haul trucking.
And you'll have that one specific lane just for that autonomous vehicle.
Not even a lane eventually. It'll be on both sides.
Right.
It's they are testing an autonomous lane.
That's what they showed in this little clip that I have kind of I took little screenshots of to show you guys. So they have the two center lanes are the autonomous lanes. And then they also show that eventually you'll be able to do like downtown stuff, which actually in Grand Rapids, we already have a few autonomous vehicles. And yes, they do have humans in there just in case they do something stupid that can take control. And they just sit in the driver's seat all day and let the car drive itself around. It goes on a single track and it picks up college students around Grand Valley State University and the other universities and just drops them around the town. That's all it does. And it's great. They love it.
And they're testing a lot of this. Again, I mean, Tesla, obviously, they're miles beyond a lot of people because they put so much money into it. But again, even that's not perfect. At the end of the day, they want everything to be as safe as possible. A lot of people are nervous about autonomous vehicles, or they don't want to trust the, the software to get them where they want to go. So what Tesla and other companies are looking for is let's get that quality, that safety to a higher level than a human driver.
Okay.
And Tesla's goal is 10 times as safe as a human driver.
Oh, that's doable. Well, maybe not 10 times, but pretty close. You could do that.
Yeah. So, honestly, I would trust one of their computers more than I would trust half the people on the road these days, just from seeing what people do.
Yeah, I get that.
So this is going to help supplement that. There are sensors on the side of the road that can talk to all of these vehicles, and it just adds more information, sends more data to the computers in the cars, so they know where, their location, distance from other cars, traffic quality. If there's an accident a mile ahead of you, that system can tell your car, and your car can respond to that.
Maybe it changes course or it slows down or something just to be prepared.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we need.
Exactly.
We desperately need these things. These are life-saving changes that could easily make everybody's lives safer and easier to get around.
Well, they are. You've seen videos already of Teslas anticipating a crash and pulling the car over. I've seen a few of those when it just starts dinging and pulls the car over, and right after that, a car slams into the one in front of them. So a lot of this AI augmented software is really making a difference, but having sensors on the side of the roads will make it even more safe.
And that's really easy to do. They
and
can do that
this article, well, my friend, one of my friends shared this article on Facebook, and I saw it, and I thought, I'm pretty sure that's the company my brother-in-law works for, and I asked him, and he said, yes, it is. So they're called Cavnue. I think that's how they pronounce it. Cavnue, Cavnue. So it's a small startup. From what he said, he absolutely loves his time working there. He's one of the project managers. He worked on a lot of, he has engineering background and has worked on a lot of civil projects, creating roadways and buildings. So this is his new thing with after he left Ford. He's really excited for it. He's already
I'm
done
excited
some
for it. This is
testing.
cool.
He's well, we went down for Easter, and he was talking about sitting in one of those
Right.
cars for a few miles, not touching the steering wheel, and how weird
Oh,
it
I'm sure
felt
it's so weird.
to just.
Yeah. I'm sure you get used to it.
I, I'm sure eventually, but even me,
Yeah.
if I just hit a button for autopilot and sat back, I'd be like, what's happening?
Right.
Is everything
Right.
okay?
Right. No, I get you.
So it's going to be really good for a lot of, like I said, transportation of goods
Oh God, yeah.
and products to
Yep.
companies. If a truck can drive 24 hours automated,
Oh wow, yeah. That'd be awesome.
it drastically reduces shipping
Right.
times. The
I mean,
it
even shifts
saves on
people
a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's just huge.
Well, if you're a trucker, you can only drive for so long
Right.
before you're forced by your company to pull over and sleep.
Right.
But if everything's automated, that truck can just go across the
Right.
country 24/7 without anything. You can, if you feel safe enough, which I think eventually we
Yeah.
will,
That'll
you
be
can
soon.
go
Give it 5
and
years
sleep in the bed of your
Right.
car. Yeah, you can sleep in the bed of your car or truck or whatever,
Let it
and
get you to your destination.
let the car do it.
So cool.
So I'm really excited for the advancements in that. It was kind of cool just seeing a news story come out
Yeah.
finally,
Especially from,
and knowing,
you know, Michigan. Love it.
I know one of the guys who's a project manager. It's so
Oh
fun.
yeah. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate all the cool news, and I'll have a couple extra articles for you guys here in just a second. Let me turn my microphone back on. Okay, so I got 2 last articles for you, and another one that's kind of branching off of Michigan. We were just talking about the autonomous roads and lanes they'll be putting in, and I don't know if we mentioned it. I was listening, but I honestly don't remember us mentioning it before. But this is starting between Ann Arbor and Detroit on I-94 is where those lanes will begin construction. And I think that's supposed to start this year. And I don't know the endpoint, so we'll get you guys an update on that as we know more. But in this one, this is about MSU surprisingly putting themselves on the map in an enormous way because they're trying to take on a part of physics that has very only been touched by a few, I guess is a good way of putting it. So Michigan State University here has decided, hey guys, we want to do a particle accelerator. And we want to do one that does rare particles. And so what do I mean by that? That actually means they're looking specifically at the nuclei and what holds the atoms together the particles together, or the strong force of the atomic forces. So there you have 4 major forces, and the strong force is definitely a mysterious one. We've gotten a little bit of answers from the Large Hadron Collider, which we talk about. I think we just talked about it last week. And Michigan State's is very different. Instead of it being a collider, this is more of an accelerator. So there is a difference there. And again, they're only looking for the rare particles. They're not using protons. They're using neutrons. So and they're looking at I guess one of the fundamental things they wanted to look at is how or what would happen if you took a regular nuclei and you added more neutrons to it. What does it happen? Does it transform into something else? Does it fall apart completely? Does it split into 2? We're going to find out. So Michigan State has really jumped on this. Now this thing actually just got the ribbons cut on it the other day, or today. I actually think this is when the ribbon cutting happened. If it wasn't today, it was yesterday. So really, really big deal because, again, huge for Michigan. I mean, we're going to have autonomous driving cars getting you from city to city in Michigan, and then you're going to have particle accelerators right down the street just blasting particles, studying the universe and what holds this all together. And here you have Granholm and the Secretary of Energy and a few other random I think one of the directors, I'm sorry, this guy right here, one of the directors over at MSU, I might have them wrong. I'm so sorry. So please correct me if I am wrong. But here's how this machine kind of works. So, it's not colliding. It's just kind of shooting a bunch of energy at a nucleus to see what happens, and it's measuring its potential. So this machine, which is known as the Facility for Rare Isotope Beams, or FRIB. I know it's a terrible name, unfortunately. I feel like they could have done better there, but oh well. FRIB comes up with the potentially produced nuclei, which is in that orange bubble kind of down at the bottom, and goes kind of almost all the way to the top, kind of fully circle there. So everything inside that bubble is what the machine predicted was going to happen and be produced by the thing. And then what actually observed and measured are the yellow and the blue, is what actually happened. So this computer has a way of predicting ahead of time what it thinks it's going to do and or produce, and then actually do the experiment, and not only measure the experiment but observe the experiment simultaneously, overlay all this information right back to the professors and the students. This is revolutionary, and this took them years to put together, unfortunately, and a lot of money. Let me see if I can figure out exactly how much. It was let's see, Michigan State University spent $730 million to fund it, and the U.S. Department of Energy spent $94.5 million to help build it as well. And then I guess MSU also contributed an additional $212 million in various ways, including the land, apparently. So really awesome stuff here. I mean, we always talk about particle accelerators, especially CERN, because it just got started back up and it's doing all this kind of thing. This one is brand new, barely used at all, and they have a whole new, department that branched off into the MSU universe just for this field. So if you guys are interested, definitely take a look at the links below, because that one was a real mind blower. I'm so happy that Michigan has been taking these leaps and bounds in the science fields and with a lot of different things. So cool. I got one last thing for you guys today, and this one is regarding hearing loss. Now this is something that a good chunk of us will experience at some point in our lives, either earlier or later, depending on circumstances. I know a lot of rockers and hardcore people over the years that you go to concerts all the time, or they're on stage all the time, you're rocking out and stuff, they lose their ears and their hearing very quickly. And there is not normally a way to get them back. How that works is that inside your ears you have the outer ear, which allows the music to come in this case, which is little music floating ears. That hits the drum, which is the middle ear, and that has the different little pieces that send the signals into the inner ear, which is the most important part, and has the hairs that receive the little dance from the vibrations and send that signal to your brain so you can hear what you're doing. So now that we've cleared that up, what's really going on is that the inner ear, part E, which looks kind of like a snail, is actually full of those little hairs, and those hairs burn out over the years, and you lose them. You don't gain them. You don't grow anymore. But we have found a way to gain those missing links in your ear back. Apparently, there have done tons of research and found out that if there's actually a step between a regular cell and a stem cell that is called a receptor cell. And a receptor cell is kind of similar to a stem cell in the way that you can, put it in certain areas of the body, and it just kind of becomes useful and adapts to wherever it's put. And in this case, they are finding a way to use lasers to actually build up this receptor in your inner ear, and that allows for those new hairs to grow back and come back, and so you're gaining your hearing back. Now, in the first test, they had a 0 result. Nobody actually got any better hearing-wise, and nobody got any worse hearing-wise. And all of the hearing tests were not done via sound, like, beep, boop, boop, and raise your hands. It was all based on speech and how well they could understand speech. So that was part of this as well. Now, in the last 3 tests, because they've done 4 total, the last 3 have all shown signs of hearing gain. And in the last test, I think they said it was 30% of the candidates showed significant gains in hearing speech recognition. And were able to go into a busy room and pick out their children over the sounds of other people's conversations. So that is key, because they couldn't do that before. Now suddenly they can, thanks to this inner ear, not injection. I keep wanting to call it an injection. Now it says, let me remove my name real quick here so you can read this. It says I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 or 15 years, because of the resources being put into this space and its incredible science being done, that we could get to the point where reversing hearing loss would be similar to LASIK surgery, where you're in and out in an hour or two and you can completely restore your vision. And or I think the same thing for hearing loss is what this person is saying. So, and this is straight from the article. This is one of the doctors and scientists that actually looked over the evidence and was kind of reviewing the case and stuff. He's like, this is serious. This could very much change the way we do a lot with not only the ears but the eyes and just a bunch of different senses and things. This apparently that you don't have to inject anything, because you were already, your whole body's full of these regenerative cells. Again, all they have to do is just concentrate them into a certain area and let them do their magic. So really cool stuff. Thank you for tuning in. I saw a few people pop in and out. I wasn't sure who they were. I didn't get any comments today, but that's okay. Again, I want to say thank you all for making it this far in the video, if anybody is out there, and I appreciate you all. Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We again are on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, pretty much all of them. We're about to be on Spotify as well if we're not on there already. But again, I thank you all, and have a great night. Take it easy. I know I learned something new, and I hope you all did too. Take it easy, everybody.